tonight's big news, a divided nation continues to pray for its president, albeit for two very different outcomes. President Trump departed Walter Reed earlier than expected, tweeting that Americans should not let COVID dominate their lives, unlike the 210,000 weirdos who made COVID their entire personality. No word yet on whether we should be afraid of a commander-in-chief bringing his steroid-induced manic episodes closer to the nuclear football. Congresswoman, the president downplayed the virus, then he contracted the virus. Is there any chance those two events are related somehow?
Well, we know this is a very serious illness and we need to follow the advice of healthcare professionals. And so that means we have to wear our masks and practice social distancing and good hand hygiene. And we all need to get our flu shots.
Absolutely, and because this is a serious moment, if you're in the news media, you gotta wear your glasses to convey a proper gravitas. I grabbed some Walgreens reading glasses on the way in. I don't normally wear glasses, and I am so nauseous right now.
Whoa, James, you could just take them off. It's not a big deal.
Austin, it's a serious moment. I need the glasses, even though I feel like I could chuck at any moment.
I've seen a lot of callousness around the president's predicament, and I just want to say, this is no time for jokes. The American people are already laughing, so joking would be redundant.
I gotta say, this reminds me of when President Reagan walked around saying guns aren't real, then walked directly into a bullet.
Now, we can rest assured that the White House staff is taking every precaution necessary to make sure the president doesn't affect those around him. During his drive around Walter Reed Medical Center, doctors did not let the president hang his head out the window and pant at supporters. Congresswoman, you're a registered nurse and also a, human being. Was it responsible of the president to hotbox his limo with coronavirus?
Well, listen, that's not something that any healthcare professional would ever recommend. I do want to wish the president, the first lady, and all of them, all those infected around them, a speedy recovery. But this is something that we know is quite serious. We've had over 210,000 Americans die as a result of COVID-19. And the sad truth is, it didn't have to be this bad.
He probably got to Walter Reed and the doctors set up a movie night. He watched My Date with the President's Daughter and decided to evade his detail to try to date Ivanka. It's simple.
Possible. It's a good movie.
Trump's behavior reminds me that I forgot one detail about the Reagan story. After he was shot, Reagan did ride around with his Secret Service guys trying to shoot them all to show the country he was still his old self.
That's Reagan for you. Now, President Trump's admission into Walter Reed Hospital left the public worried that he might not be able to lie to them on a constant basis. But luckily, there was Dr. Sean Conley picking up the slack. Here's how he explained conveying false information.
I was trying to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, that his course of illness has had. Didn't want to give any information that might steer the course of illness in another direction, and in doing so, it came off that we were trying to hide something, which wasn't necessarily true.
Look, this makes sense to me to keep the president upbeat. As we all know, historically, he's really super critical of himself. Congresswoman, you're also a registered nurse. Does the best kind of care come from a medical staff that doesn't acknowledge the realities of an illness?
Well, Americans deserve transparency, and the president's health, it's a matter of national security. And unfortunately, this administration's lack of candor is nothing new.
Look, the American public are little babies who need to be lied to.
Sure.
We shouldn't be told when information is bad. We'll find out the situation is bad when Russia invades.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to several White House aides and reporters, 3 Republican senators have tested positive for coronavirus after attending COVID-19. The New York Times' Michael Shear tested positive and has not been contacted by the White House. Congresswoman, do you appreciate the White House's more hands-off, fun babysitter approach to this outbreak?
I don't. We know the scientists have told us how we can manage outbreaks, contact tracing, testing, making sure people get treated. And it's very concerning that those who might have been exposed to the virus haven't all been notified.
Well, as someone who has spent quite a bit of time on the Hill, slang for Capitol Hill,
here we go.
It's a little DC insider secret that this level of disorganization is par for the course. That's why I call it the Monkey House, which is a little nickname I came up with.
Cool. Now, obviously, in this moment, it's important to focus on the health and well-being of this country and its leaders. So let's talk presidential horse race. Now, the presidential campaign is galloping ahead. Here is Trump campaign aide Aaron Perini making the compelling case that a healthy candidate is an out-of-touch candidate.
First-hand experience is always going to change how someone relates to something that's been happening. The president has coronavirus right now. He is battling it head on as toughly as only President Trump can. And he has experience as commander-in-chief. He has experience as a businessman. He has experience now fighting the coronavirus as an individual. Those firsthand experiences, Joe Biden, he doesn't have those.
That's right. The only way to understand something is if you experience it. That's why I know so much about lightning. For example, did you know it really hurts?
Well, we know that there have been millions of Americans who've been diagnosed with COVID-19, over 6 million. And so the president can display the empathy that he wishes by protecting our health care, right? He should not be in court seeking to dismantle these healthcare protections, because once you get COVID-19, that's a pre-existing condition.
You know, Congresswoman, I got to push back on this. We got to both sides it. So I'll say Joe Biden is setting a bad example for kids out there with his flashy Evel Knievel brand of caution.
Yes, it does seem performative of Biden to look after his health. If he was being genuine with the American people, he'd shoot heroin into his own neck.